Okay, so in the previous lecture we have discussed about the different process of beta decay and what is beta decay and the energetics of beta decay. So in this lecture we are interested to discuss the uh, next topic, that is the Pauli's neutrino hypothesis. Now what is the necessity of this hypothesis we will describe in detail. Now I want to revise the previous lecture so that the new lecture will be benefited. So in the previous lecture we have discussed the three types of beta decay. At first we discussed the process of beta decay, what is beta decay, then we discussed the three types of beta decay, the radius of beta decay, the beta ray spectrum, and the endpoint energy, maximum kinetic energy of the beta particle, and the energetics of different beta decay processes. Now in today's lecture we will continue our discussion. So in the previous lecture we noticed that in beta minus decay, in beta minus decay, what happens that neutrons trans a neutron transform into proton plus electron, and in beta plus decay a proton, which is the nucleon, that is the nuclear particle, proton transforms into neutron and positron. That's all. So uh, the theoretical result and the experimental fact were completely different. The theoretical fact said uh, the spectrum of beta decay should be discrete like the alpha particle, as because the energy change is takes place the energy change takes place between two discrete energy state, that is the energy state of the parent nucleus and the energy state of daughter nucleus. If we schematically draw this, then if this become the parent atom energy state, parent, that is uh, a mass number, z atomic number, and the parent atom is x. Here a beta emission happens and the energy state achieved is daughter atom. Energy state achieved by the daughter atom is described by this. This is the E2 energy state and this is the E1 energy state. So there are two discrete energy states. So the beta ray spectrum should be discontinuous like that of the alpha decay process. But the experimental fact says different. What it says? It says that the beta ray spectrum should be continuous. That is, all electrons in the beta decay do not have the same velocity, but the theoretical uh, explanation gives that beta rays should have the mono energetic, that is it should have a single velocity, but this does not happen. Second difficulty in interpreting the continuous beta ray spectrum is that the nuclear energy state should emit with an energy Wk. The beta particle should be emitted with an energy Wk. What is Wk? Wk is the kinetic energy through which the beta particle emitted by the nucleus. And what is Wm? Wm is the endpoint energy, which can be defined as the maximum kinetic energy achieved by the beta particle during the beta ray emission. or beta decay process. So there lies a difference between, if we plot the kinetic energy, then we will notice that the curve becomes like this. If we take at any instant of the kinetic energy, and that's of the maximum kinetic energy of the beta particle, then there lies some energy difference which is equal to Wm minus of Wk. Now this energy does not have any explanation, so this is known as missing energy, which cannot be interpreted theoretically. Missing energy, this energy is missing. Okay, next thing is that by placing the decaying nuclei in a delicate calorimeter with the thick wall that stops the beta particle, heat produced is related to the average energy and not to the maximum energy of the electron, and not to the maximum energy. That is, the missing energy is not absorbed in the matter. This missing energy is not absorbed by the matter immediately. The next thing is that if we notice carefully the reaction, then this contains the half. These particles are all fermion, right? What is fermion? The particles which obey the Fermi Dirac statistics. Now the particle which should have the spin quantum number half are known as the fermion. This is the properties or characteristics of a fermion. So the neutron, proton and electron all are fermion and should have the half integral multiple of H line quantum number. So the spin uh, quantum number should be half. This should have also half, this should have also half. So the angular momentum conservation do not takes place. At first we discuss the missing energy, that is the energy conservation law is not maintained here. That is, energy conservation law violates, which is not desired in any physical law and any physical experiment. So we have to discuss, so we have to discover some new ideas which can explain this missing energy, so that the energy conservation law remain intact. Next things, after the emission of the beta particle from the parent nucleon or parent nucleus, if this becomes the parent nucleus and this becomes the parent nucleus and this becomes the daughter nucleus, and the emitted beta particle is directed along this, which does not takes place in the opposite direction, that of the daughter nuclei. So the linear momentum conservation is also violated here. So at these circumstances we cannot able to explain the continuous beta ray spectrum, to explain the energy conservation, to explain the angular momentum conservation, and we fail to explain the linear momentum conservation. So there is a difficulty in establishing the equivalentness between the theoretical background and the experimental background. In these circumstances, Pauli survived. Pauli assumed there should be some another particle which should emitted along the beta particle. That is, there should be another particle which should be emitted along with the beta particle. Here also should be another particle. Here should be another particle which should have a direction along this, so that the resultant direction will have the opposite direction about the from the daughter nucleus, so that the linear momentum conservation takes place. Now, this new particle should have many properties. So, if we give an example, we know that beta negative or beta minus decay, if we take an example from boron to carbon plus electron, here a neutron transforms into a proton and electron. This. Now, we discussed that this contain the spin half, half, and half. From our knowledge of quantization rule and quantum theory, we know that if P plus Q is equal RB a reaction, then if P have a spin if P have a spin quantum number 1, it should have if Q contain 1, then the resultant will be some 0, 1 or 2. If P have a quantum number half, Q have a quantum number half, then it should have either 0 or 1. If P contain 1, Q contain half, then it should have a quantum number half or 3 by 2. But in this case, the reactant contain half, the product contain half and half. So there should be another particle which should have the quantum number half. So it should have also a fermion. Next thing is that we cannot explain this missing energy term. We were not able to explain the missing energy term. So the particle which is emitted simultaneously along the beta particle should contain the energy which is equal to the missing energy. So we can say that some another particle also emitted along the beta particle which carries this missing energy. Okay, Pauli assumed this particle and named it as neutrino but neutrino. Now, neutrino are of different types. At first, we have to consider the reaction. A neutron transforms into proton plus electron. This is antineutrino. That is antiparticle of neutrino. What is antineutrino and how it differs from neutrino? Okay, one thing I have missed, that the meaning of neutrino. The meaning of neutrino means little ones. Neutrino means little neutral one. Little neutral one. The neutrino and neutron both are chargeless particles, so that the charge conservation takes place here. As because it contains positive charge, it contains negative charge, and the neutron is chargeless, so it should have chargeless. Now, the next property, it should have nearly zero rest mass, so that the energy carried by it is very small, as because the electron emitted by the beta decay process almost contain the maximum kinetic energy than of the reactant. Now there are different types of neutron at first we have to discuss the what is the difference between neutrino and antineutrino. There is nothing in charge. There is no difference between the charge. Both are chargeless. There is no difference between the masses. Both the particle have same mass, but the difference lies in the direction of the spin. If it contains the up spin neutrino, then it contains the sorry if if the linear momentum be directed this along this, the spin momentum will be directed along this if the rotation takes place by this. If the rotation takes place by this, it is for antineutrino. The momentum be this and the spin momentum is also along this. So this is not the mirror image of the two particles. So the second one is called the antiparticle, not superimposable mirror image of the first one. So this is known as antiparticle. Now we will study the antiparticle and the particles in the particle physics. So all of these are leptons. Now this is known as the electron neutrino. There are also two different types of neutrino known as mu neutrino and tau neutrino. A pion transforms into a muon and antineutrino mu, and a pi plus transforms into mu plus neutrino. We will study this reaction in detail in the particle physics series. This is tyon transforms into pion plus neutrino. So these are known as muon neutrino and this is known as tau neutrino. Now if we summarize the properties of neutrino, first of all it is extremely teeny, that is infinitesimally small. Second thing is it do not interact with the matter. This is important point. Why it do not interact with matter? So at first times when the beta decay process was established, the neutrino particles were not detected by the experimental setup. So we were not able to uh, establish the new particle. Uh, in the problem, there were some problems. So Pauli assumed a new particle which is known as neutrino. So at first stage, neutrino were not detected by the instrument as because it do not interact with the matter or with the strong force. It interact via weak interaction and gravity. The third important point is neutrino or fermion, which contains a half integral multiple of spin number. Now the last and final one is it should have the zero charge, that is it is chargeless particle. So these are the different properties of neutrino. Pauli, in this way Pauli saved the different violation of conservation processes by his hypothesis, and this is known as Pauli's neutrino hypothesis, which is very important in the beta decay process. Thank you.